very first time I understand it. It's not a religion of ethical improvement, so we're saved. It's a religion of substitution. Once Adam ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, getting into heaven by our good works ceased to be possible. It's off the table now. The good works that we do cannot save us. They can't play any role in saving us because they are always going to be stained with sin. Even the most sanctified Christian person, no matter how godly they are, their works cannot withstand or endure the severity of God's judgment. That's why we have to be hidden in Christ. That's why we need Christ's righteousness to save us. Only Jesus' righteousness, only his keeping of that first commandment and that second commandment, only his Sabbath keeping, only his honoring of his father and mother, only his sexual purity, his contentment, his truthful tongue and mouth and life, only his righteousness has the merit necessary to meet the requirement of the holiness of God. And while that guy, seems like a nice guy, we have to have these. They're necessary. We have to keep the commandments of God. That's actually true. And you can't do it to the satisfaction of the holiness of God. Nobody can. And that's why we need Christ's righteousness. Think of Romans chapter 8. Listen, Romans chapter 8. Great passage. There, Paul, after describing the huge struggle with sin, the war we have with sin that's ongoing in our lives, he says there in Romans 8, verse 1, there is therefore now no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus. And he speaks in verse 4 there that God sent his own son. What the law could not do, what keeping the commandments of God could not do, namely make us right with him, God did by sending his own son. Jesus kept the commandments for us, verse 4, that the righteous requirement of the law would be fulfilled in us. What am I trusting in to get me past that final judgment? Christ's righteousness. Well, don't you?
Close to desperation time yet, where you just have to put it in harm's way.
You're taking a picture of her.